And now over to another attack, this one happening in the Afghan capital of Kabul. Dozens have been killed, hundreds more recovering from injuries at this very hour. The Taliban has already claimed responsibility. This comes as peace talks between the Taliban leaders and the U.S. over in Qatar reach a stalemate. So joining us to break it all down, all this violence, former Pentagon official Michael Maloof. So Mike, what does it say to you that the governing arm of the Taliban is meeting in Doha, but their terror arm is over here blowing up cars and buildings at nearby schools?
Oh, they're trying to ratchet up the pressure and gain as much territory as they can. It's not unusual because they already announced that they were going to do it. They were attacking during Ramadan, and they announced that they were going to be launching attacks at the same time that negotiations are going on. The whole idea, of course, is to put pressure on the United States, gain as much territory as they can, so that if and when hostilities do diminish, or even if there's a ceasefire, they will have acquired whatever territory gains that they need, and undermine the current Afghan government in Kabul that much more.
Now, what about how? Let me ask you this though: how can the Taliban expect to be regarded as a governing body if they continue this other arm that they have and continuing supporting terror?
Well, we see that a lot in overseas.
We talk about strong arming, right?
Oh yeah, it is. It is. They have a political arm. They ran Afghanistan up until October 2001 when we kicked them out following 9/11. But the reality is they are working a dual track here. They're trying to do the military side because they know the United States wants to leave. Yeah. And that's what the whole negotiations are about: how to get the U.S. out, and they're not going to negotiate anything or come up with an alternative government unless and until all foreign forces are out. That's predominantly the United States. Now, they're doing something separate. They are convening a constitutional committee to in anticipation that they inevitably will take over, and that's now underway. Is this constitutional committee to basically take the old constitution they had prior to their first overthrow in 2001 and update it and maybe modify it in light of new realities such as women's rights, things like this. I mean, and you have a younger generation now that wants to see this, and but they're not going to go full speed ahead. And
because what about the official governing body? Will they be able to cooperate? You've told us before how the Taliban clearly don't fully recognize the U.S. installed government.
They refuse
here.
to talk to them. Refuse to talk to them. They probably have determined they don't really need them. Now, they talk to individual ministers and what have you. Right. But they're not going to be looking upon the Kabul government as a separate entity because they're regarded as a U.S. puppet. So, consequently, they can wait us out. They know the U.S. wants to leave by 1 September.
Sure.
And or I should say, U.S. wants to have by 1 September an agreement, I should say. Yeah. And they just wait us out.
Well, do you foresee a real actionable drawdown of U.S. troops in Afghanistan? I mean, we're about 18 years in now.
Yeah, we have a stalemate, and the whole negotiation underway in Qatar is for the U.S. to pull out with some dignity, and I think Trump is on that scale right now.
Is this kind of like they don't want it to be another Vietnam? They don't want it to look like that?
Yeah, basically. But you know, that big power vacuum, that sucking sound, is going to be another power vacuum that's going to creep in, and it's just going to be a matter of days before the Kabul government falls.
If the U.S. is out.
If the U.S. is out.
So how about this then, Mike? If the Taliban remain inflexible in these demands of causing the stalemate in Doha, is there any chance we might see a new wave of American incursion into Afghanistan?
What for?
You tell me.
We had 100,000 there at one time, combat troops, and we couldn't defeat the Taliban. I mean, what's there now is only about 15,000 for advise and train. You know, it's nothing. It's nothing. Plus, they have.
And it'd be
Taliban
really
now
unpopular if we went back in.
I don't think it would be very popular at all.
Yeah.
As it is, Taliban controls over 50% of the country itself. What you got to worry about will be ISIS. Will Taliban be working more and more with ISIS, or will we be trying to encourage Taliban? Now, what we're trying to get out of Taliban is no foreign, no attacks from Afghanistan on U.S. assets, or planning U.S. attacks on the U.S. And we're trying to get them to fight
push
ISIS.
back ISIS.
But many Taliban commanders are joining ISIS.
Wow.
So this is, I mean, it's really still volatile there, uncertain, and ISIS is picking up steam in that region, in effect pulling a pincer movement against Iran ultimately. And this is what we've got to be watching, because in Afghanistan, ISIS itself controls something like 5 major provinces right outside of Kabul province, bordering against Pakistan. No one's talking about that, but it shows that even though the so-called caliphate is gone now, they are resurrecting themselves over here, and they are coming back into Iraq.
So keep an eye on ISIS, so
yes.
we apparently need to really talk about
Afghanistan will be just another stepping stone, and U.S. can see that it just wants to find a convenient way out of this, a dignified way out of this.
You're certainly the only person speaking about it now, so that's why we have you here.
Thank you.
As always, appreciate your expertise. Mike Maloof, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.